Hello and welcome. Today we're going to take a look around Magic Kingdom, located in Orlando, Florida. Now we're going to take a look at Frontierland. Now this is the third section on the map, and it's the third upload within this sort of weird and wonderful playlist that's been created. So we've already done Main Street USA during the day and night. That looks absolutely spectacular, all lit up at night. We've then done Adventureland, which is the Pirates of the Caribbean, so that's already been uploaded into that section of the park. Now it's time to check out the roller coaster, the log flume, and some other little bits and pieces. I end up getting lost on an island thanks to Tom, and then we have 3 dining options to have a look at as well. Now again, like all the other sections of the park, extremely busy because the park was completely full. You could not buy another ticket to get into this park for this day. I don't know if it was like that for the other three theme parks on site at the same time. So what we'll do is we'll check out briefly the big roller coaster, and then what we'll do is actually end up starting to walk towards Liberty Square. That's actually where the haunted house is located. Stop before we get that far. Then we find a little nice quiet pocket where we can walk past all of the water, and then I actually find the queue line to get lost on this island thanks to Tom, and then we'll just go around from there, and then we'll finish back up where we started. The log flume at this time was not running, which is a little bit of a shame. Now the queue line for that thing is absolutely massive. We will see that towards the end of the video, and I did manage to get on that ride at the end of today, which is really nice. So it was one of those good way to finish. Really big ride actually, lovely theming. Now that's one thing that Disney do very well. They do have very good theming, but they had so many technical issues when I was there at that point, and I think by the sounds of it they've just got worse as well. So if you have been to any of the parks in 2023, please let everybody else know in the comments below. Let us know what your thoughts and what you think, because when I went to Orlando, sorry, when you went to Universal in Orlando, everything almost ran seamlessly. I mean, obviously some of the rides were down for maintenance and things like that, but all the roller coasters and everything. Whereas this, there was quite a lot of different bits and pieces down over the day, and it just was massive wear and tear. So take it with a pinch of salt with regards to how busy certain bits are, because obviously there would be a lot of people stuck within the queue lines as well, which they did not have the opportunity to do. But then at the same time, it is nice to go into some of the shops and just soak it all in, which we will do in the next upload, because I think that is where you've got all of the bits and pieces in Liberty Square. And it was a little bit quieter, so we did manage to have the chance of doing that. But like I said, we will end up in a second hunting down Tom's Island, and then most of the video, to be honest, is actually exploring this amazing section of the park. And because it was really nice and peaceful, I did spend a little bit of time on there, even though I kind of got lost because you end up going round in loops and loops. So I just cut out a section because that was literally just looking at people's backs. As you can see just how busy it is, and like I said, you could not physically get another ticket for this day, and I don't know what the other parks were like. But if you have been in the 2023 season, again, let everybody else know in the comments below what it is like. But the theming, I think, does look really smart. So you can see if you went under that bridge, that then actually takes you into a different section of the park, and if you carry on going this way and you keep walking down in a straight line, you then leave this section of the park and you end up moving on to the next bit. So like I said, we will end up turning left sooner rather than later. We'll hunt down the big water steamboats, there's like a big paddle boat. Have a look at that, you'll see everybody that's on there, and then we'll turn back round on ourselves and start walking up to Tom's Island. So I think this is what I'm starting to do now. There's the big boat. That thing was absolutely massive. Didn't actually manage to get on that. That's one of the things I didn't manage to get on during the day. But I do believe that would have been a really nice thing to see. But it looks like everybody is a standing only. I don't know if you can actually sit down, but it did look very busy every single time that thing went by. And you can see behind it, there's that what looks like quite a small island, which turns out to be quite a large island. So we will go to explore that. But this bit was really quiet, so I ended up using this walkway up and down for most of the day when I went into this section of the park. And there are other sort of little pockets of the park where you can sort of have a little hidey hole like this, and I think it works really well. So a lot of people just stick to the sort of the main track. If you know Disney inside out, obviously you're going to know where all the other paths are, where it's not as busy. But I'm glad I found this little bit, because it means I could actually see this boat come by. It was just perfect timing that this happened, and I think we now start to walk down. And it was again perfect timing, because I managed to get on the next boat that took us over into the island, and then we'll have a good look at the island. But it is a big pedal boat, that one. So I do believe, or paddle boat, I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it, but it is what it is. If you've been on that, let us know what you think. Is it actually worth getting on? Is it worth queuing up for and doing? Because there was 1 or 2 other rides that weren't running at that time. I think the railroad wasn't working then as well, so I think that was the steam train wasn't up and running. But you can see all the people in the background. That's the bit that we've already done, and now we're going to walk down this bit. This is a perfect photo opportunity if you wanted to. You've got all these little bits and pieces where you can get off the path. You can have your selfies and sort of family photos if you wanted to, and then you can do whatever it is that you want to do from there. More than likely you can also just grab yourself a bite to eat and a drink. But yes, in the far right hand corner, all those people are waiting to get onto a different boat that then brings you back to land. And then in front is that little building which we're about to walk into. Like I said, I really wasn't too sure what to expect, but we will hunt it down. It's not this teeny tiny one in front of us, it's one a little bit further down. And then that bigger building is the queue to get back over to this side. So I think I timed it well, where they filled the boat up with people to get off the little island, and not that many people got on. But it was a bit of a weird and wonderful experience, because it is like a petrol boat that takes you over, and there is a driver that takes you over, and depending on their turning radius and skill will depend on how smoothly you land into port, shall we say. And it's good fun. And this is the log flume, so this is running again. You can see everybody dropping off in the background. So again, if you want to get some nice sort of photos, if you knew of anybody that was coming down, you do get quite wet at this bit. If you knew of anybody that's coming down, this is a really good place to stand, rather than the bridge a little bit further over. You can see in the distance just how busy that is, because that bridge you actually see everybody from the drop, whereas this you actually do get a big splash at this section as well, and you get to see everybody's reaction, and you can see how fast those boats are spinning through. The biggest pet hate that I had for that ride is that everybody did the fast track. So the queue line did not move at all. So everybody was just jumping the queue, getting on it, and it just kind of got to the point of where I think it's probably because it was not running for so many hours in the day that everybody was just trying to get on it. So it wasn't kind of spread out correctly, I guess, because people that were hoping to use it at one point, they couldn't. But if everybody just queued for the rides and didn't have the fast track, the queue lines would move very, very quickly, because they're getting on 4 people. You can see how close those boats are together, and there's always going to be 3 or 4 people on, which you can get on as a group of 3, or you can get on a 2 as a 1, obviously, or you can just get on as a group of 4 if you wanted to. So it's one of those. But now all of a sudden we are in the main bit. So now from here, all I am trying to do is find the entrance to the ride, because it wasn't where I thought it was. You actually have to loop round past all these people, past all these little push chairs, and then all of a sudden we find it. We'll do the zigzag, and then we'll actually get to the queue line as well. So we're basically half the video, or almost the rest of the video, is going to be on this island, and it's perfect for the smaller ones and the bigger ones. You've got loads of different bits and pieces to explore. There is a place that you can actually eat. You've got a nice bit where you can just sit down, look at everybody going around on the water, and then there's also, I think there's like a little playground area for the little ones to sort of go over, and there's some little wonky bridges, all sorts of different bits and pieces, but it's kind of hidden. I guess it's, well, I say hidden, it's right in the middle of the park, but I didn't know anything about it. I had absolutely no idea what was going on or what to expect or anything like that. And then, yeah, just thought give it a go, because there just didn't seem to be that much of a queue. Jumped on, and we will explore it together in a second. But like I said, where I thought the queue line was, you've got to walk past all of those people that were literally just crouching down. One, again, seems to be like some of the other parks, a bit like Legoland as well. There's not enough benches, I would say. There's not enough places for people to sit, and that's why everybody ends up just sitting on all the rocks and everything, and then it kind of bottlenecks up into the middle, whereas these bits around here, you'd be perfect for a bench, because it's out the way of everybody. But I don't design theme parks, so there must be a reason why. But that little thing that we're looking at now, that is the petrol-driven sort of propeller boat, and that is there's 2 of them. So there's one coming in, and then there's one going back on itself. And then you will literally, they just cross over every single time. So that's a big group of people coming back, and you can see the other one that's about to land as such. So now, cut to the queue line, and you can see everybody that's waiting. Not that many people, which is great, but I did actually think I wasn't going to get on, because you come round and it's got the rope there where it looked like they had already counted everybody to get on the boat. But they felt sorry for me, so they let me through, because this was the disabled way in, and then you've got the bit in front that was also blocked off, but they said just come through, which is good. So you can see it says personal flotation cushions. That, yeah, let you figure that one out. And we are now moving on the boat. So it didn't take that long to get over. I think I filmed the whole thing, because you got to go past each other, and then you sort of circle it round, get onto the other side, and then everybody always stops and watches. But they've also got to time this in between the big steamboat coming round as well. So I think on the way back we get a really nice close-up of the boat, because we're on the boat as the big one passes us by, but they don't move it until it has passed completely. So it's one of those where they've got to be very, very good with their timing. What I'll do, I'm going to let you soak it in just for a couple of seconds, just how noisy this boat is, or lack of, shall I say, because it makes it very, very peaceful when you get to the island. You get away from all the people as such, and it gets much, much quieter. So just listen to the boat noise just for a second or so. Nice and simple, nice and easy, doesn't take long. We're already halfway there. We have a big sort of U-bend round. You can see the Disney castle in the background. That looks really nice. And if they do these later on at night or dusk, that castle would look absolutely stunning lit up at night from here. That bridge actually is a really good place to watch the fireworks from. The bridge that we're watching the log flume come down, if you just spun round, you would then obviously see the Disney castle in the background, and you're far enough away to see a good amount of the fireworks. Not all of them, but you do see a good selection. So we are now over to the other side. So we're about to get lost on this island, and now we're going to explore. And it didn't start very well because I went off and I got blocked in. So what I thought I'd do is I let all the people walk past, so you can see that I'm the last person. So I thought, right, that's perfect, turn round. And in a very, very short second, there's actually a couple of people about to come down, so I end up just jumping back in and let all of those past. So then we'll cut that bit off, and now we're away. So that's third time lucky, and we are in the island itself. So you can see, just there, they're sat down. We are not back at the park. This is the island. So you've got to figure out exactly what's going on. So you can read all the little different bits and pieces. You can go into all the dark caves, the lighthouses. You've got that little sit-down place. I think there is another eatery somewhere else. That's a little bit close to the water. So that's really nice. Obviously, you can see the map as well. It's a cool thing to explore. If I had more time, I would have filmed everything. But I did film a good chunk, but I just went around what I could. I think I ended up doing this bit twice by mistake as a figure of 8. Saw the boat was about to leave, just jumped on the boat and carried on, because there was plenty of other different bits and pieces to do there. So Disney, you do need a very, very long full day for. I mean, obviously, if you're going all the way over to Florida, and you can get yourself a multi-hop park pass, and you are staying on site, you are spoilt for choice with 3 other Disney parks as well, and you can just sort of spend half a day in one, go back to your accommodation, grab a bite to eat, and then literally just walk around and soak in all the amazing atmosphere in the evening, and not have to worry about getting on any of the rides, because it's just it's a very, very special place when it's lit up at night. So it's one of those that you actually just want to go around and explore. Obviously, it's getting good fun getting on the rides when it's dark, but then at the same time, sort of walking around and seeing all the castle and all the other bits and pieces lit up was very, very, very pretty. So we're coming round and down these stairs, and then I think we end up going into some sort of cave, and then we go into somewhere else. So if you have done this, let me know what is the sort of order you're supposed to do this on. If I actually read the map, stopped and actually followed directions, I would have done. But it's me, so I didn't. So I just sort of was like, well, we'll do this, do that. I thought to myself, it can't be that big, and it keeps going and going and going, and you just think that you're going down the steps that you've just come up, but there's actually a path just beside it. So it's a cool thing. But you've got a little play area there for the little ones, and that's actually a little bit bigger than I remember, actually, because you've got a couple of slides, and you've got the smaller area as well, and the larger one. And again, there's lots of places to sit down here. You've got all the nice bits of water. You've got lots of benches and things you can sit on. But again, with the sort of the narrower walkway, you have to get out into the open to be able to sit down. So if your legs are tired, you kind of got to pace yourself a little bit. Now, we are again still on the island looking over to, that is where you actually get the steam boat from, and then a little bit further on, I do believe, as you come down, is the haunted house. And where I was stood, I think, is one of the other eateries, so that is on the other side. You've then got that wonky bridge, so you can see everybody sort of running over that. That's all like the tyres and things. So I could have gone left there, but I thought, no, I'll go straight on, and now I've got a choice of going left or right or straight on here, I think. So I think I end up going over the bridge, and then that takes us to somewhere, either what we've already done or somewhere completely different. Like I said, I'm watching this back for the first time. It's been a long time since I did it. I have no idea what that bridge is. I don't know where that goes. So I don't know if that's the way we went instead. I can't tell you now. I don't know. I've lost little bits of footage, so I might have done it. If I did, I can't tell you because I can't remember. But there was lots to do, as you can see, and obviously it is rather large as well. But again, it'd be quite nice if they did have some benches tucked away and you can just sit down and just soak it all in. And then somehow we ended up back here. I was like, all right, brilliant, that's fantastic. So we're now coming to here. This was a pretty cool thing. It's one of those odd bits where you just go through. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to say anything, and I'm going to let you experience it for yourself. So that was that. Let me know what you think of that. Now, you've got other buildings that you could potentially explore. I think that's back of one of the eateries. I think that's the thing that we saw when we first came into the right-hand side. One of them was open, one of them wasn't. So it seems to be, even though the park was completely full, not everything was open, which I was quite surprised about, but I'm not. It's not my local park. I don't know if that is a normal thing. And then you've got another thing that we go in and explore. One of them's really, really low. You've got this beautiful water wheel as well. So I'll go quiet and I'll let you explore this. So that was the inside of that. Obviously couldn't get through, so many people walking down. So probably if I carried on going in a straight line, that would have taken me to a different part of this island. But I think because I knew where I was, I now just end up coming back because this is just snippets. I was on here for a large amount of time, and I think by fluke, actually that was fluke, that was the queue line. And then I just managed to get on the next boat, and then I'm on the boat now as this thing passed. And then that was it. So that's all of the footage that I can share. So if you're wondering why it is so choppy, I have lost a lot of files due to file corruption for whatever reason. So it's just basically the best of a bad bunch. That's all you're going to get. Now this roller coaster is pretty cool. Big screams coming. I think some of those screams are a bit over dramatic, but now what we're going to do, we're going to turn around, walk past the whole of the front of this. So we're right at the far end by the roller coaster, and the log flume is the bit that is beside us. That is actually closed, but what we will do, we walk past all the way through this. We'll have a quick look at the queue line of the actual log flume, and then I think we finish out the front of the actual log flume itself. And the queue now, compared to what it was like first thing in the morning, is tiny. So when it was open first thing this morning, it came out all the way onto this bit, all the way down where we're looking. That was where the queue line was. Now this is the other queue line, which the second this thing opened, filled, and the queue on the inside is huge. Yes, that is an absolute massive maze, and that is the length of the queue line for the log flume, and you can see the train behind. But guys, I'm slowly starting to run out of time, so if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. I know this is unbelievably choppy, but hopefully it helps a little bit. There is a full playlist available for how to get around all the different accommodations from Dubai, Florida, and obviously hopefully further afield in the near future. So if you have got any up and coming holidays and you're into your theme parks, as well as all your Lego bits and pieces, plenty of content on the channel. But like I said, guys, as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ta-da.